everyone, welcome to this Global Open Data Index Hangout, community hangout. Really happy to have everyone here. As you'll see, this call will be hosted by myself and Moore Rubinstein, who you'll see in the lower right corner. And the main idea with this call is basically for us to have the opportunity to present the index to everyone and give you a little hands-on demo of how it actually works, how you submit datasets. And then in the end, we would really love to hear about any questions you might have. And the way it works is that, as you'll see on the Hangout page, there's a comments section on the lower left-hand. And you can basically just type in your questions there, and then we'll read them out loud and try to answer as best we can. So that's it. But yeah, Moore, maybe you briefly want to introduce yourself as well?
So I'm Moore. I'm the new community outreach coordinator of the index with Christian. I'm happy to be here. I've done it as a user last time, so I know that you have questions. So please do ask if needed. And we always here for you guys. So yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. So let's kick it off. First off, let's give everyone a little tour of what the Open Data Index is. And let me just share some slides with everyone here.
Slides.
Now. Right, so let me see if I can full screen that. There we go. Google Hangout is always a challenge. Okay, here we go. Moore, can you confirm that this is full screen in your end as well?
Yes, this is full screen in mine.
Okay, great. Okay, so Global Open Data Index, the survey is what is being referred to as the census. Those of you who heard about the Open Data Census and the Open Data Index last year might have been a little confused about the connection between the two. As a result of that, we decided to merge them into simply being called the Global Open Data Index this time around. Still, we are using the census as a survey, and that is what is also being referred to as the sprint that we're in right now, which will run for another couple of weeks. This is where all of us, you guys included, will be collecting data sets in all of our countries and filling up the league table in the index and basically getting everything in place for review further down the line. From the top, it's basically an idea, the Global Open Data Index, to give citizens an opportunity to measure and benchmark openness of data in the country that they live in, and then offer a way to present this information in a way that's easy to understand and easy to use. As you'll see when you go to this league table, which is the main page of the index, you will see down on the bottom half that we have this league table, which covers the 10 data sets that we're measuring on one axis, and on the other one we have the countries that are listed. And this is a dynamic list, which basically changes as data sets are being entered. And you can see they're listed or ranked by score. The reason why we do this is simply to make more people aware of what open data is. Often data can be seen as something very abstract and something that is only interesting for people with technical skills. That is, of course, not the case. And with the index, the idea is to basically make people understand what open data is, and understand how they actually can play a role in shaping the open data landscape in the country that they live in, simply by being part of an initiative like the index, where you actually can monitor and visualize how open the data is in your country, and use that as a tool to approach your local government and have a discussion about how to actually improve things. And the Open Data Index is based on a set of principles. For instance, the most important principle is that we are trying to distinguish between open data and data that are not open. And by open, we refer to a series of rules, basically the ones set out in what is called the opendefinition.org. Some major ones are that the data needs to be made available under an open license. It needs to be machine readable. It needs to be available in bulk, and basically it needs to be obviously available to people, freely available, and to be used for any kind of purpose, including commercial use. Another key principle is that we're looking at quality data sets rather than quantity, meaning that we're looking at 10 predefined sets of data in order to be able to compare, which is the third key principle. We want to be able to make it really easy to compare country to country. So that is why we've simplified things by asking or consulting the community and asking for what 10 data sets would be the most important ones to measure. We also have a principle of accessibility, basically meaning that we're looking at how data are being made available rather than the actual policies that actually enable them to be available. And lastly, we, as mentioned, base this index on rankability, which is kind of a gamification feature in which any country participating can actually see how they're doing compared to others, and also by filling up the index for that country, you can actually skip ahead in the ranking system. The 10 data sets that we're looking at is listed on this slide, and this, as mentioned, these are the data sets that we're measuring. And you can go into the actual index and see a description of how we define these data sets. More, who will be doing the live demo a little further on, will get a little more into detail about how you can actually find these descriptions. It's built into the submission process, which makes it really easy and yeah, easy to get on board with. So this brings us pretty much to a quick description of how you actually join, how you contribute, and you basically go through 5 steps. One is that you contribute to the index by first and foremost joining the community. We highly encourage you, as your first step, to jump onto the Census mailing list, which is listed under item number 1 here. You go there and you sign up, and then you get to talk to everyone else in the community. You can post questions. You can, put forward topics for discussion. You can, get help in using the census. That will be your first step. Second is to join one of these community sessions. We do online video hangouts on different time of the day, so that wherever you are based in the world, you can actually join one in the daytime. And the idea is basically just to give an intro. And even if you miss these hangouts, you can find them as recordings online, and thereby get the intro even if you could not make it there in person as it happens. Third thing you do is you pick a role. We have these different ways of being part of the index. First one, and the most easy one, is to be a contributor, which is what we'll show you today, how that works. You'll be able to add data sets after watching the live demo. You can also sign up to be a mentor, and a mentor is basically acting as an advocate of the index in your country. Getting more people to know about it, get them to contribute data sets, and become an evangelist on behalf of the index. We call that a mentor. You can also sign up to be the reviewer for your country. We aim to have one expert reviewer for each country, and by expert we mean someone who is able to go through all the submissions for a country and pick the best one and ensure that whatever is being added to the final index is validated and accurate. And we would love to hear from you if you feel that reviewer is you. You don't have to be a professional open data consultant or anything like that. We just really want to connect with people who are dedicated and have some experience in accessing open data. Lastly, you can also be a supporter or a translator, and these two pretty much relate also to the mentor role. But supporting, by supporting, we mean help spread the word, help get more people aware of the index, and by translator, we really would like you to help us translate beyond English. Seeing how most of what we do is in English, we would really go beyond, like to go beyond that. Spanish, French, Arabic, Chinese. If you would like to help with your language skills, we have slides, we have other materials, tutorials, and so on, and we would love to hear from you. Step 4. Yeah.
Wait, just to say that Spanish is already, this presentation is already been translated in Spanish during that weekend, so thank you guys. If someone else wants to do it in French, in German, any other language, Chinese, just speak to us. Also, we're trying to do the whole app in translation soon, so that's also something that people can help. So thank you guys for already starting doing stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. Mo was actually in Mexico last week, attending the APRILATAM and Condatus conferences, and connected with great folks from the Spanish-speaking Latin American community, as well as the Portuguese-speaking community. But great to hear that the Spanish version is so coming together so well. Hopefully, we'll be able to do many more languages.
Yeah, and thank you to Ignacio to helping us doing this.
Yeah, exactly. And the last bit is basically just get in touch. Index@okfn.org is a place where you can ask questions, but even better, ask them on the mailing list listed above, because that way, when we respond to you, then we help others who might have the same question. And really, we encourage everyone to use the list rather than emailing us directly. You can also tweet, obviously, and if you do, please use the tag OpenIndex2014 so that we can retweet and amplify your messages. Next thing after you've set yourself up is to start digging for data sets. I'm not going to go through all these sub-items in detail, but looking for data sets is actually pretty easy. You can start out by heading to the Open Data National Portal if your country has one of those. That would be, the obvious first step. But you can also use any search tool that you prefer, Google, Bing, whatever, and basically just start dig around the internet in your country and see what in what way data are being made available, if at all being made available. So use your creativity. Even if you don't find it, that's also actually something that you can submit, and it's just as important to basically make a submission where there is no data, because that helps put focus on the fact that your government should perhaps look into this, and don't be shy. Even if you can't find the data, then simply mark it as not available. Next, you actually start the submission process. This more will actually show you next. It's really easy. You answer a few questions and you guide it all the way through, and we have a lot of supplementary text that basically helps you as you go along. In the end, you obviously review if all the questions have been answered correctly before you press submit. And what happens then is that it's queued up for review. And as mentioned earlier, we will be selecting a reviewer in every country, and that reviewer will then go through all the submissions and basically pick the best one. The way it actually works is that once there's a submission, what you actually do if you want to correct it is that you go into that submission and make a comment about how you want to correct it, and that will make it much easier for the reviewer to actually merge all those comments in and adjust the submission so that it becomes accurate. And then in the end, after you've done that, share with the world. Tell the people in your network that you've made these submissions and encourage them to maybe take part and go in and comment on what you've done. We're trying to put together some guidelines for how you can actually use the results of the index, especially once it's been finalized in a few weeks and released. That way you can use it as a tool for advocacy and visualization and basically as a general tool to really make more people aware of the importance of opening data in your country. Yes, that was that. Let me take the slides off screen here and then hand over to Moore so that she can actually give everyone here a live demo of how it all works. So,
brilliant.
Take it away.
Let's share mine. Can we see it?
Yes, perfect.
Brilliant. Let's do it. Okay, so this is the global.census.okfn.org. This is basically our survey. If you can see, we just using index, not census, like here. So this is basically the census point. It looks similar to the index page with all of the countries and their ranks, but you can see that there are some places that are still missing some data sets. And you can see all the countries that are not participating and needs to be added. Okay, a lot of them, so help us get more and more countries. When you want to add a new information, try to go through the name of the country. So let's find a country that we suspect never had submissions before. Let's do it in Cambodia. Let's just check Cambodia. Oh, good. So we see in Cambodia there is one submission that has been reviewed, but there's a lot of submissions that haven't been submitted yet, like government budget, government spending. If a submission was submitted, you cannot resubmit. You can write comments, which we do just now, but let's try to submit the new information. So let's go to government budget. We can log in with Google, or we can log in as an anonymous. Continue. Here we go. As Christian said before, we made a description of every data set that is there. So it's national government budget at high level. This is what we're looking at here. If you want to see what's happening in transport, whoa, we have a new description. So this is pretty cool. But let's stick to government budget. If you are still not sure what does it mean, government transactions, for example, or budget or everything, just send us a message or send the forum. It's the best place to be at the mailing list of the census. So the first thing that we do is that we think, does the data exist? And Christian showed many ways of looking at data. You can email your government office, you can call them, you can look online. There's a lot of, we explain how and where. It just has to be an official published data. It can be by government, it can be by third body, if that third body got the mandate to publish data, but it has to be an official place. So hide. If you mark unsure or no, and you don't know, then you don't have anything to do. You write your comments here, which are very important. We'll speak about it in a second. But if you click yes, a whole new world is opening in front of you. So the next question is the data is in digital form? And you have here the whole explanation if it's in digital or not digital. Let's say that the Cambodia has it in digital form. It's a yes. Again, you'll have a show more, show less if you need any help with it. And the tutorial has even more information if you're stuck. So we said, isn't in digital form, is it in paper, or is it in a computer format? Is it publicly available? Because can everyone actually get the information, or only government official? Yes, say it's a yes. As you can see, a new window is coming up with asking who's the data publisher. Of budget is probably the Treasury of the Ministry of Finance, and a short description about it. This is what you have to put in here. Is the data available for free? As you can see, if you have to pay for it, it's not for free. Let's say it's not for free in Cambodia. Is the data available online? Well, if it's on the internet and you can access it, it's probably available online. Sometimes data can be digital and it can be publicly available but not online. So notice this. If it is available online, what is the URL of the data? And this is important because in the review, we want to see where you got the data and if it's correct. And the review process is very important because 2 sets of eyes are better than 1 set of eyes. So put the link here, write why in the comments. Is it machine readable? This is one of the questions that is most of the time have lots of troubles because there's a lot of formats of files, but some of them are really easy to the eye of humans, but they are not easy to the eyes of machines, and some are the opposite. So here in the help, we put all of the most common files that we know. So machine readable are XLS, CSV, JSON, XML, while not machine readable are HTML, PDF, doc, GIF, JPEG, and PPT. If you have any other type of formats and you don't know about, just ask, again, the list, ask on Twitter, ask us. Let's say it is machine readable, which format the data is in, which is important to us. Is it available in bulk? Can you actually download the whole data sets, or can you just download parts of it by month? Non-bulk citizen, no bulk can sometimes be not permitted for citizens, but do for officials. So it's important for us to know, can you get the whole data or not? So yes or no. Is it openly licensed? This is another question that raises a lot of other questions. What does it mean, openly licensed? The government can write, this data can be reused or used, but it's under the license of the government of Cambodia. If it says it's under the license of government of Cambodia, and although it permits you to use and reuse the data, it is not publicly open. It will be publicly open if it's got Creative Commons license, for example, in the case of Australia. How do you find licenses? Usually it will be at the footer of the page of the data set you're looking for and the terms of conditions. So read the terms of condition, see if it says Creative Commons license or any other Creative Commons license that you can find. In the opendefinition.org, we put all kinds of terms and conditions that can help you to basically choose if it's open or not open. So go there. And again, if you're a bit confused, you don't know what's happening, it's better to ask than not asking at all. So just ask us on the list. And the last thing, also very confusing, is it timely? Budget of governments, for example, needs to be updated every year. Okay. Compared to this, transactions, if they're in real time, have to be updated every month. If they're in retrospect, they can be every year. Transports, sometimes a month, sometimes a year. So look at your government portal or at your data sets and try to see how timely it is. And for example, if it's from 2012, well, this data set is not updated. But if it's coming every monthly, that it is. The tutorial has a full table that shows when everything is basically timely or not, and you can comment on it and give us feedback if we were misjudging what is timely and what is not. So after you filled all of these nice 9 questions, which are really, really easy, and this whole part can take between 10 minutes if you're very, very aware of what's happening in your country, to, let's say, 40 minutes stop if you don't and you just find the new data set. But after that, please write to us comments. And comments can be like, oh, I don't have this data set, but there is an NGO that released this data set instead of the government. Or it can be, this is a very, very interesting data set, but it's still incomplete. Or this is another way that you can get this data sets from this kind of link. Every comment that you might think of, the more the merrier. It's actually better to have more comments than less comments. Everything goes. And then you submit it here. So this is part 1 of it. We go back. We can see that, for example, we can view a submission. For example, Cambodia does not have, as you can see, transport. But, for example, there was a new development in Cambodia, and you want to tell that, do not resubmit. It will be better just to comment here in the comment section. And it will help us, and it will help to create a discussion around the data sets and to understand what's going on. And it helps our reviewers to see what happened in Cambodia. But if you're from a country that already submitted something to the census, for example, let's take Slovenia. You see, submitted everything for 2013, and you want to propose a revision, it's almost the same. You see here the proposed revision in blue, you hit it, and you do the same process again as if the dataset was never been reviewed in 2013. Okay, and you can see here all the details as well that was written on it. For example, if everything is the same, okay, like for example, the data still exists in Slovenia, it's still in digital form, it's still publicly available, it's still available for free, and nothing has changed, just write here in comments, nothing has changed, or everything is still good, and submit it. So we'll know that the data from last year is still applicable. If something did submit it, just change it. See, very easy to go and write. I just change the timely zone for Ljubljana or for Slovenia. So you put it in. This is how easy is this, because it brings you already all the answers from last year, and you just need to modify it accordingly and see what's going on. Well done, Slovenia, on transport, guys. You're really good. And that's for that. Please do go to places before you just try to submit a database through here. It will be easier for you to actually see if the work that you're doing already been done, or if you need to do something else. And also, if you, for example, see, for example, here in Uruguay, we're missing 2 datasets, help us to spread the word and say, hey, guys, we need your help. Even more than that, if you want to see which kind of changes has been done in the index, you just click on changes, which will take me a while. But at the end, you can see all of the new datasets that has been added. For example, Thailand and Georgia have been, and Morocco have been added, and the Netherlands and Bolivia added new submissions. So you can see all of the submissions that has been added before you do anything. And that's from me. Any questions that we have? Maybe let's check. No, but I'm going to take the screen share off. Yay! Great. So it's really easy to submit. You don't have to sign up as a mentor, or you don't have to sign up as a reviewer to submit any kind of submission to the index. This is what's beautiful about it. If you do want to become a reviewer, if you do want to spread the word, if you do want to make any kind of a community effort. We heard in Paraguay that, for example, they made it a school assignment in the university. I heard in other places in the world they tried to basically make communities hackathons and build community around the index. So there's a lot of stuff to do with it. If you need any help, we're here to give you any support or ideas.
Yeah, just to build on what Moore said, we really want this to be a global community effort, and we're hoping as many people as possible will join in. This is going to be a great tool. We can really, everyone use this locally to make a change, and it's actually quite fun also to get to know a little better what is out there in your country, and this just makes it much easier to dive into that. And this can be a first step, a point of departure for many wanting to learn about open data. So we hope that you will use it. And basically, as mentioned, you could ask us questions in the comments. No one has done that so far. That's quite all right. I guess that shows that, hopefully shows that it's pretty clear how to get on board with this. It's actually pretty much what we had planned for this call, and if there aren't any questions, then I suggest we wrap it up here and basically just encourage you again to get in touch if there's anything that you want to ask later on. Otherwise, hope you'll get started on submitting data for your country right after this. We look forward to help you do that.
Have a great open week.
Yes. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye-bye.